Chapter 9. Social and Religious Awakening in India. A vast country like India had been colonialized by a handful of foreigners because of certain deep rooted weaknesses of Indian society. Certain visionaries of India began to analyze the weaknesses of their society and thought of ways of eradicating those weaknesses. The major issue taken up by the social reformers was the exploitation and discrimination done to the Indian woman and caste system. Female infanticide and child marriage were popular practices. Many women were forced to commit sati. Life of widow was worse. Women were also victims of polygamy as men could have more than one wife. Reformers took up the challenge of fighting for the rights and dignity to women. Caste system. Indian manuscripts and religious books give us vivid account that Indian society was caste based since long. The Indian caste system is based on the concepts of four varnas, namely Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya and Shudra. The term caste refers to one in which one was born. Caste system created inequalities and injustice. The people belonging to the lower castes were deprived of basic social and economic opportunities. Untouchability was another practice which was faced by the lower caste.
Female infanticide. Practice of killing a girl child is known as female infanticide, where the illegal practices of killing the fetus of an unborn baby girl is termed as female feticide. The British colonial government in India debated on this topic and listed those communities or tribals who practiced it. Female Infanticide Act, enacted in 1870, gave provincial government immense power to prevent killing of babies and also punish those who committed this crime.
Child marriage. It was practiced as a safety measure because in ancient time, around 8th century AD, India was being invaded by foreign invaders. The invaders took away the young girls as spoils of war. So, boys and girls were married early to protect young girls from such exploitation. Sati.
Since ancient time, this evil was prevalent in the society. It was an illegal practice of burning the wife on her husband's pyre. Old Hindu scripture Agni Puran also mentioned that this practice was carried out in ancient past. At that time, it was known as Sahagmana, but it was prevailing only among the certain section of the society. Only Rajput women were forced to undergo sati. The practice of sati was more acute in Bengal, where in 1829 more than 450 incidents of sati were recorded. The British government in India did not interfere in this matter, considering it as a religious matter of the Indians.
Widow. The problem of widow was observed as a serious problem in Indian society. Due to polygamy and child marriage, aged men married young girls. As a result, many young women became widows at a young age. They were not allowed to remarry after the death of their husbands. There were many restrictions imposed on them, like they were allowed to eat only once in a day. Efforts to improve the condition of widow led to the implementation of Widow Remarriage Act. Raja Ram Mohan Roy, one great reformer regarded as the father of modern India, was Raja Ram Mohan Roy, 1772 to 1833. He founded a reform association called Brahmo Samaj and tried to reform Indian society by adopting the rational and scientific approach of the West and the principle of human dignity and social equality of all men and women. He organized groups of like-minded people who kept a strict watch to prevent any attempt to force the widows to commit sati. Jyoti Rao Phule. He was born in Pune in 1827. He was greatly influenced by the ideas of Thomas Paine. He was deeply hurt by observing the caste system and inequalities prevailing in the society. In 1873, he founded Satya Shodhak Samaj. The main objective of this Samaj was to improve the condition of oppressed people. Gopal Hari Deshmukh. He was a well-known writer of Marathi. His famous work in the field of writing is Lokhitvadi. Through this, he gave the message of fighting the evil of caste system prevailing in the society.
Swami Vivekanand. The original name of Swami Vivekanand was Narendra Nath. He was the founder of Ramakrishna Mission. Through this organization, he did his best to reconstruct the society in many ways. He firmly opposed the caste system and untouchability. He was the disciple of Ramakrishna Paramhans. Sister Nivedita, the disciple of Swami Vivekanand, emphasized upon unconditional social service.
Kandukuri Veerasalingam. Kandukuri Veerasalingam was born in 1847 in an Orthodox Hindu family of Andhra Pradesh. In 1876, he started a magazine named Viveka Vardhini in Telugu, which was totally devoted to social reforms. With his efforts, Rajamundry Social Reform Association was also founded in 1878, which worked a lot to uplift the weaker sections of the society. He is known as the first man who brought Renaissance in Telangana region of Andhra Pradesh.
E.V. Ramaswamy Necker. E.V. Ramaswamy Necker was a well-known reformer and political leader of his time. He was popularly known as Periyar, which means the lofty one. He was born in 1897 in Necker caste of Tamil region. He advocated social equality, the philosophy of which was based on social work and justice. Nationalist leaders like Mahatma Gandhi, Rajagopalachari, Vinoba Bhave were greatly influenced by his idea.
Sri Narayan Guru. Sri Narayan Guru was born in 1856 in Zava family. He was great social reformer and saint of his time. At the time, the people of his caste, Zava, were not allowed to enter the temples. He was determined to eradicate the social evil and disabilities imposed on lower castes. Under his guidance, an organization named SNDP, Sri Narayan Dharma Parevdar Yogam, was started in 1903 to get entry into the temples. Mahatma Gandhi. All his life, Gandhiji kept the abolition of untouchability in the forefront of his public activities. He founded the All India Harijan Sangh in 1932 and started a vigorous campaign for the removal of untouchability. He named untouchables as Harijans, or God's own people. B.R. Ambedkar. He was a great leader who was born in 1891 in Mo village of present Madhya Pradesh. He himself belonged to a lower caste, Mahar caste. In 1927, he started a temple entry movement to question the unjust principle why lower castes were not allowed to enter the temple. In 1930s, he took part actively in national politics and demanded separate electorates for untouchables. He was also the prominent member of drafting committee and became the first law minister of Free India.
Dadabhai Naoroji led the Foundation for Female Education in Bombay. He was a pioneer in establishing the Student Literary and Scientific Social Society in Bombay, which took the lead in promoting female education. He went from door to door urging the parents to send the girls to schools for education. He volunteered to teach without taking money when the first girls' school was opened by the society in Bombay.
Pandita Ramabai. Pandita Ramabai in Maharashtra wrote about how women were exploited at home, kept in ignorance and forced to do hard domestic labor and treated unjustly by their family members. She founded a widows' home at Pune where the widows who were treated badly by their husband relatives could take
shelter.
Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar was a great Sanskrit scholar and a humanist with immense sympathy for the poor, the unfortunate, and the oppressed. He is remembered gratefully by his countrymen for his long struggle in favor of widow remarriage. He strongly condemned the misery and oppression of the Hindu widows, and after studying the ancient text boldly suggested that widows could remarry. Gradually, the movement in favor of widow remarriage spread to other parts of the country. Finally, in 1856, the British government passed the Widow Remarriage Act.